Hello everyone, I am Amita and in this video I am going to explain some basic concepts of production in relation to an imaginary village called Palampur. First of all, what is the aim of production? To produce the goods and services that we want. Next, what all are required for production? The first requirement is land and other natural resources like water, minerals, forest, etc. The second requirement is labor. The people who do the work are called as labor. Some production activities require highly educated workers to perform some necessary tasks. Other production activities just require workers who do manual work. Thus, the workers provide the labor required for production. The third requirement is capital. Various inputs are required at every stage of production. So now what are those inputs? Tools, buildings and machines are the inputs which come under fixed capital. Why? Because they are used for production for many years. When it comes to machines, they include everything from simple machines like farmer's plough to sophisticated machines like turbines, generators, computers, etc. Next, working capital. Raw materials and money in hand comes under working capital. Why? Because they are used up in the process of production. Raw materials like yarn are used for weavers and clay is used by potters. Next, money in hand is used in the process of production for making payments and to buy all other necessary items required for production. Next requirement is knowledge and enterprise. Knowledge and enterprise is required to put together land, labor and capital and produce the output either to use ourselves or to sell in the market. Hence, these four are called factors of production. Since we consider the village, let us know what are the production activities going on there. So the production activities include farming activities and non-farming activities. If we consider total population in Palampur village as 100%, 75% are dependent on farming activities, 25% are dependent on non-farming activities. In any village across India, farming is the main activity. Starting with farming activities, it is clearly evident that the well-being of the people in village is clearly dependent on production. So now what are the crops growing in the village of Palampur? Let us assume that Palampur village resembles a village in western part of Uttar Pradesh. So the crops grown there are in rainy season, that is Kharif, Jowar and Bajra are grown. In months from October to December, potato is grown. In winter season, that is Rabi, wheat is grown. So, as we discussed earlier, the well-being of the people in the village is dependent on production from the farms. So now what are the ways to increase production in the farms? The first way is to convert the wastelands into cultivable lands. Why? Because the land area under cultivation is the basic thing for rising production. The second thing is multiple cropping. Multiple cropping is used to increase production by sowing crops, more than one crop in the same piece of land in a single season during a single year. The third one is modern farming. When we talk about modern farming, the first thing to discuss is they produce very high yields. Here you may get a doubt that what is an yield? Yield is the crop that is produced in a piece of land in a single season. As we are discussing about yield, there are two things we have to discuss. So what are the two seeds that are required for cultivation? Means that are used for cultivation. Traditional seeds and high yielding varieties of seeds, that is HYV seeds. Traditional seeds require less water and they use cow dung and other natural manure as fertilizers. HYV seeds are introduced by Green Revolution and they require plenty of water. They use chemical fertilizers and pesticides. For suppose, through traditional seeds, if the yield is 1300 kgs, through HYV seeds, the yield is 3200 kgs. Even though the yield from traditional seeds is very low, traditional seeds are only most preferable. Why? Because HYV seeds has many disadvantages. The first one is loss of soil fertility because they use chemical fertilizers and pesticides. The second disadvantage is decrease in groundwater table because the groundwater is continuously used for tube well irrigation. Environmental resources like groundwater and loss and soil fertility will take many years to build up. So once if they are destroyed, it will take many years or it will be even difficult to restore them. Next, I'll explain these concepts in relation to village of Palampur. If we consider Palampur village has 450 families, of 150 families are landless and 240 families are families that have land less than 2 hectares of land. They are called small farmers. And 60 families have land greater than 2 hectares. So they are termed as medium and large farmers. So this is about land in relation to Palampur village. Next, labor. Small farmers provide the labor themselves with the help of their families. Next, medium and large farmers hire laborers from either landless families or families that have small plots of land. Now, how are these laborers paid? They are paid either in wages or in kind, that means crop. Sometimes they even get meals. The wages they are paid may vary from one cropping activity to another cropping activity like harvesting, sowing, one region to another and from one crop to another. How long the farm laborers will be employed? They are employed either on daily basis or for one particular farming activity like sowing, harvesting, etc. or for the whole year. Next, coming to capital in relation to Palampur village. How will the small farmers manage the capital required for cultivation? As they don't have money, they either borrow the money from the bank or from the large farmers. The interest rate on such loans is very high. They are put to great distress to repay the loans. Let us consider the example how the small farmers manage their capital. Let us consider the case of Mohan, who is a small farmer who plans to grow wheat on 1 hectare of land. Here you may get a doubt that what is an hectare? Hectare is the unit of land for measuring. Here 1 hectare of land is square piece of land measuring 100 meters on every side. So for growing wheat on this piece of land, the estimated capital is 3000 according to Mohan. So now as he don't have money, he borrowed the money from large farmers at an interest rate of 24% for 4 months. In addition to this, he is made to work in their fields in harvesting season. These are the problems faced by the small farmers when they ask the loan from large farmers. Next, how will the medium and large farmers manage their capital? After the production is obtained, they keep portion of the wheat for the family consumption and sell the surplus in the market. So, the medium and large farmers are the people who supply the things to the market, not small farmers. Let us take an example of Kiran, who is a large farmer. After selling the surplus of wheat, that is, if he got 350 quintals of wheat from all the lands, and after selling, he will get the earnings. He will use the earnings either in the following ways. Either he keep that money in his bank account or use it for lending to, or use that money for lending to small farmers, or use it as capital for the next sowing season. So, medium and large farmers obtain their capital from their own savings. Some farmers use the earnings as the capital for non-farming activities too. Now coming to non-farming activities, These are carried out on limited scale. So now what are the non-farming activities? Dairy, small-scale manufacturing, shopkeeping, transport. Coming to dairy, buffaloes are made to feed on grass, jowar and bajra that is grown in rainy season. So the milk obtained from this is sold in the market and they make money from them. Traders in large cities set up collection and chilling centers. It is from this place the milk is transported to faraway towns and cities. Coming to small scale manufacturing, it involves very small production activities. They are generally carried out either at home or in the farm with the help of their families. Rarely the laborers are hired. Next, if we discuss about shopkeeping, shopkeepers buy the goods from the wholesale markets in the cities and sell them in the villages. These goods include tea, oil, wheat, rice, soaps, toothpaste, biscuits, pens, notebooks, clothing and everything. And the people who has houses near the bus stops use portion of their housing to sell vegetables too. The last one is transport. Rickshawalas, tongawalas, jeep, tractor, trucks and people driving traditional bullock carts and bogies all come under transport services. Here bogies are wooden carts attached to buffaloes. They transport people and goods from one place to another and get paid in return. Consider the example of Kishora, who purchased a buffalo from the loan taken from a bank. He sells the milk and in addition to that, he further attached a wooden cart to the buffalo and used that for transporting various items. By doing multiple works, he is able to get more money than before. This is about production in relation to an imaginary village called Palampur. Finally, I am going to tell some general facts in relation to the topic discussed earlier. Apart from the riverine plains, the coastal region is well irrigated. In contrast, the Deccan plateaus have very low levels of irrigation. Of the total cultivated area, a bit less than 40% is irrigated even today. The remaining areas are dependent on rainfall. The farmers of Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh are first to use modern farming methods in India. The consumption of chemical fertilizers is highest in Punjab. That's all for today. Thank you all for watching my video.